Hey, you guys, what's happening? It's your girl, 31 Chic, coming to you for your Theory Thursday. I know. Today, I wanted to come to you guys to talk to you about how to choose your sunscreen. So, a lot of people have questions that they ask me, like, what sunscreen should I use for my skin, especially darker skin tone clients, because of the white residue that gets left behind from the sunscreen. So, I'm going to talk to you guys today about which sunscreen to choose. Okay, so first let's start off with talking about broad spectrum SPF. When you choose your SPF, make sure that on it says broad spectrum. Your broad spectrum SPF is going to cover the UVA rays and your UVB rays. Your UVA rays are your aging rays. The UVB rays are your burning rays. So what you're doing is protecting your skin from premature aging and also burning, getting the hyperpigmentation, the sunspots. You may not see them immediately, but as we age, we're going to start seeing that premature aging and the burn spots that are left behind. So that's your broad spectrum. Now let's talk about the SPF, the factor, the sun protection factor. You want to choose a SPF that's going to be at least a 30. You have SPF 15, but your SPF 15 is only going to cover like 93% blockage from your UVB rays. So your SPF 30, that's going to give you 97% coverage from your UVB rays. So make sure you go a 30 or higher. Anything higher than 50 really isn't going to do much of a difference. So 50 is that cap that I go with. When I recommend to my clients, I tell them between SPF 30 and SPF 50 for proper blockage. Also, check out the ingredients list. You want to make sure that if you have oily skin, you get a non-comedogenic sunscreen. And if you have dry skin, make sure there are hydrating ingredients inside of your SPF. So that way you're taking care of your skin while you're out there in the sun. Now let's talk about that sunscreen that looks white. What I'm about to show you in these next couple of clips is how sunscreen leaves that white cast, how you could choose a sunscreen with tint so it won't show so much of a white cast, and the difference between the sunscreens with the white cast and the sunscreens that do not leave that white cast. Okay, here we go. So right now I am in the school's closet showing you a couple of the sunscreens that we have available. We have a Skin for Life sunscreen, a post-quam sunscreen, and a sunscreen called Max Block. I'm showing some of the ingredients on the back of the sunscreens right here. You'll see the Skin for Life has zinc oxide in it. The Postquam has several ingredients in their SPF, and then the Max Block has aviobenzone and homosalate, as well as a couple of other ingredients. I have one of my students right here doing some little spots on my arm so you can see how these different ingredients absorb into the skin or do not absorb into the skin. This is the Skin for Life tinted sunscreen. Remember, I said it's a physical mineral sunscreen, so it's not supposed to rub in. Because it's not rubbing in, it's going to leave a barrier on my skin, and that's going to leave that chalky white film that you get. But because it has a tint in it, it does absorb a little bit. But you can see, as much as she rubbed, you still see that white cast. Now this one right here is the Postquam. The Postquam is a chemical sunscreen. It has ingredients that will absorb, and you don't see that white cast that's left behind because it absorbed instead of sitting on the surface of my skin. So a chemical sunscreen works better for your darker skin complexions. Now this is the Max Block. The Max Block also has it has some chemical ingredients in it, but it still left a little bit of a white cast, and it doesn't have any tint, so it didn't, absorb the way I would have liked it to absorb. But also I think there was too much put on the skin, so it didn't get the opportunity to absorb well. And then I rub it a little bit more. You can kind of see it disappear, but it didn't disappear as well as the post-quam disappeared. So there you have it. If you don't want to see that white cast, you want to use a chemical sunscreen that has ingredients in it like the oxybenzone type ingredients or an avobenzone type ingredients. If you don't mind a physical sunscreen that has tint in it, it still absorbs okay. That's going to be your zinc dioxide and your titanium dioxide ingredients, but it has the tint. And I'm going to show you how well that tinted physical sunscreen works under makeup. In my treatment room at work in the salon, I use a Eucerin. As you can see from the front label, I use it a lot. It does have some titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, but very little. So it doesn't leave a whole lot of a white cast. When my clients leave, you don't see it. Now at home, I use the PCA Skin Broad Spectrum Sunscreen, and it has a tint in it. So it absorbs just a little bit, but that tint helps it lay smooth underneath my foundation, and you can see that. All right, you guys, I hope this helps you make a better choice in your sunscreen. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. And you can follow me on Instagram at proverbs.31.chic. And don't forget, sunscreen every day and reapply every couple of hours, no matter the type of sunscreen you choose.